But help me out, because Meghan has been on MasterChef Australia. I avoid a lot of her appearances on television because I don't consider it royal.
Oh.
I do, but she did get into a bit of a royal rumpus here, Samara, where she was... Is she the Duchess? Is she Meghan? What was happening here on MasterChef? I assume you watched it because you're Australian,
Of course, yeah. No, I've just got direct access to Australian TV from over here in the UK. No, but you might not consider it royal, but I think she certainly does, Matt, right. Because she was announced by Poe, who is basically Australian royalty. She's MasterChef royalty. She's a beloved sort of national treasure. She was hosting the MasterChef show. She called her the Duchess, or she introduced her as the Duchess of Sussex.
She is the Duchess of Sussex.
She is, yeah.
She is, but there was a bit, and also Meghan Markle. She called her Meghan Markle, which, as we know, or Mindy Kaling will tell you, she's not particularly a fan of that. She's Meghan Sussex now. And I think from what we hear, there are different rumours about producers saying that, you know, she wasn't particularly happy with that sort of intro, which I find a little weird because the actual prompt for the meal was a meal fit for a duchess. So I think behind the scenes there was a little bit of drama with how everything had gone. We know that Meghan does like to control situations, and she didn't have as much control as she would have liked over this production. How it went down with the Australian audience, I think it was mixed. There are a lot of people that are staunch monarchists in Australia, and they don't like Meghan and what she's done to the royal family, and they just never will like anything that she was trying to push. But I think there's a faction of Australian society that was fine with it.
Were there lots of flower petals and everything?
There were flower petals.
Good.
Yes.
Just checking.
But I tell you what, watching it though, it was almost like they were being cynical about Meghan's use of flower petals. I don't know if she would have appreciated the tone. They were like, oh, we added the flower petals for you, Meghan, but in a bit of a joking way. And I think that's where the cultural difference comes, because Meghan was quite serious throughout the whole MasterChef process, and Australians are very unserious. Yeah. And I did see that chasm there.
It's a generational thing as well. I mean, the cultural difference, but the generational thing as well. And this blurring between celebrity and royalty, which we're seeing now. And you see it with William and Catherine as well, a little bit, not as much. But it's okay to go on comic relief or children in need, but how far do you take it? I mean, you could include the late Queen appearing as in the James Bond sketch at 2012, starting to blur that line a little bit. But that's on a completely different level to appearing as a judge on MasterChef.
Did she appear as... Did she clear this up then? Did she appear as Meghan, or did she appear as the Duchess of Sussex? Did she appear as a member of the royal family, or did she appear as a presenter of the As Ever with Love Meghan?
I think it was Duchess of Sussex, wasn't it? I don't know.
No, I mean, the intro could not have been more, this is a royal person. I mean, it was actually very revealing because they introduced her as philanthropist, you know, and some global change maker, something like that. And then on the side, she has a jam company. So that was quite interesting because I guess her PR people would have controlled that sort of intro if they had half a job to do. And it shows that it's basically the jam company is just a sidebar for her. It's not the real her. And they were like, we've never had royalty like this come into the MasterChef realm. So it was very clearly sold as a royal thing. Yeah, I was kind of holding back.
I did see a clip because Meghan wasn't the only royal to appear on MasterChef. Harry did a video call, phoned in, did he? I mean, did he rescue this show from disaster by appearing, or did he make it even more
I've
cringe?
seen as much of it as you have. But I did see a video clip of him on the phone, and she says, hello, my love, doesn't she? And he interjects. Maybe that was a contractual obligation, I don't know.
She spoke also a lot about the different diets that she needs to attend to in the house. I mean, they asked her, what's your favourite food to cook for your family? And she goes, you know, normal mum would just go lasagna or pesto, whatever. She goes, well, I have to attend to many different palates in my house. And then she says that Harry's favourite food is meat, potatoes and cream sauce.
I've got this here.
Is that British? I want to ask these two British men here.
No.
What?
Harry, being from the UK, loves a lot of meat, potatoes, cream sauces.
Yes, which is what we have all the time, isn't it?
Is that what you survive
I had that
on?
for breakfast.
Yeah, that's an American view of what the English diet is.
We also got a bit of a look into how she parents, where she said that she only allows the children to have desserts that they can pick off a tree.
Oh, wow.
And I was thinking, my God, that reminds me of my Whole Foodsy mother, who was like, you can have a lentil for dessert or whatever. And or a vanilla bean. It just shows you that she is trying to do this sort of holistic approach. But that doesn't sound very fun. That's what I'll say.
Do you think it's a goer? Do you think she'll appear more? Could she appear as, a judge on Celebrity Bake Off or a food judge now in any other shows, or is this a one-off?
Traitors. No, I didn't say. I mean, that was just a joke, obviously.
Of course, that was a joke. Just telling the lawyers that was just a little joke.
Yeah.
It was funny, though, because they were advertising for the Australian traitors in the corner of the MasterChef, and it was just Meghan's face and then traitors over it. So it was a bit... Anyway, but yeah, I don't know. To be honest, she didn't seem that at home in the studio.
Yeah.
I have to say, she was wearing all black. It just didn't quite go. She hasn't got that sort of Nigella Lawson quality to her, I must say. Maybe she's someone who likes to cook, but I don't know if she's someone who likes to eat. And that might be where the whole judging a bake-off or a MasterChef thing is a problem.
It's a very difficult line to tread. That we saw it with Harry appearing on the Colbert talk show as well. Once you start going into
You don't
celebrity,
like this, do you? You don't like this move into celebrity?
No, I mean, it might be a generational thing. I don't think the royals are stars, but I think younger people do think that, and there's obviously less deference. But there has to be some magic about it. As soon as the magic's gone, you're just a celebrity. You're just another disposable celebrity at that point. So,
are we far down that road now with Meghan? She is just she's just using her royal family status or whatever to sell as a celebrity. Is that ship sailed now? She's down that route, sure.
No, I don't think that ship has sailed. I mean, the ship is still in the harbour, isn't it? But that's definitely a route that they could go down. I wouldn't rule out politics for the Duchess of Sussex.
Because she doesn't take criticism well. So there's no way she could become a politician because people would criticise her and she wouldn't like
Governor of California.
No, God.
I'll be back in a year.
Oh, yeah. Be back in a year when that happens.
Let's stick on Meghan still, which I think is more of a royal story than her appearing on MasterChef. Okay, just putting it out there. This is the shtick this is the hill I'm willing to die on. But this is genuinely a royal story, and this is her photo dump. This is the series of photographs that she put on Instagram. We'll go through some of the pictures in a minute and talk about where they were taken and why they were released. But should we be surprised that Meghan took the children to meet the King and Queen, and we were told there wouldn't be any information, wouldn't be any pictures of that meeting. But should we be surprised that she still published a bunch of photographs from her trip to the United Kingdom, including the children taking flowers to Princess Diana's grave at Althorpe?
I thought it was such a low blow, and I just thought, oh my goodness. I mean, they banged on about privacy, and all they do is to continually invade their own. We actually didn't know much about this trip. It was very, sanctioned in that way. And then she releases this sort of millennial Gen Z style photo dump, totally showing us everything. I mean, there were so many different Easter eggs and different things that you could pick up from the dump. And I know that is what she wants to do. I know that's the direction she wants to put her brand. But it really does come across very hypocritical in my mind for what she publicly says about online privacy, children, like the children's privacy, for example, and then what she continues to do. I'm sorry, but I'm very cynical about it.
But it's almost as if she wasn't overly happy with being kept out of the limelight, not being seen in the UK, not being photographed and avoiding social media, that she just kind of had to do that.
Well, it was special ops sort of coming into the UK, wasn't it? And then, but Highgrove was a good choice for the meeting with the King and the Queen. But you don't see the faces of the kids, do you?
No.
So those are always...
That's pretty much the only thing we don't see.
Which to me is the weird bit. I mean, either publish a photo of the kids or don't. I just don't understand this constant back of the head stuff and blurred out faces. For me, it's one or the other. Either don't show them or do show them.
Well, where do you stand on Althorpe? We know that they stayed there. We got pictures, or we saw Harry leaving Althorpe, I think, on the Saturday morning. We knew that we splashed it in the Sun a couple of weeks earlier before the trip that was their plan, to go to Althorpe and go to Princess Diana's grave. What do you think about the fact that Meghan decided to tell everybody that that's what they did with that specific photo?
It was very interesting. In my opinion, it's them setting up for Diana's 30th anniversary, which will be next year.
Yeah.
Now, we know that there are rumours about a Netflix documentary that might potentially happen. Of course, there were different things about a camera crew following them around. I don't believe that. I don't think that happened.
Well, we never saw them.
No, we never saw them, and we would have. But if you cast your mind back to the initial Netflix documentary they did about leaving the royal family and all that, there was a lot of handheld iPhone footage that they used, for example, when they were coming out of horrible Canada on their freedom flight into the United States. You know, Harry getting on his own phone and filming Doria on Tyler Perry's private jet. They obviously used that within the documentary. And in my view, I think that Meghan might have been doing some video footage, some filming for a potential documentary that they will give Netflix first look according to their deal.
Well, we know, as you pointed out there, from the 6-part documentary, they love to film their own lives. They love they document everything that they're doing, especially we saw in that documentary. And we know that the King and Queen said no pictures from the Highgrove meeting. So you could be right. The trip to the UK and to Portugal and stuff like that could be used, for a future documentary.
Yeah, and I think people do love the authenticity of a sort of home camera video, or whatever you want to call it. So I think I do think that there is a documentary in the works.
Can I raise some? Sorry, Simon.
Oh, well, they rate well. I mean, we know how well that the Harry and Meghan series rated compared to the other stuff they've done for Netflix. Less interest for cooking and polo behind the scenes.
Can I raise something I thought fascinating, but I think I'm the only person that did, is that we identified one of the photographs as a random loch up in Scotland called Loch Dromer. And they drove to Scotland while they were here. Just humour me. It's just they were here for longer than the week and they weren't seen, they weren't photographed, there weren't pictures, and they went up to, I believe, to see some friends up in Scotland. They can come to the UK and not be noticed and have a quiet life without the chaos and the drama. I say have a look at it. It's Loch Dromer up in Scotland, right up in the north, a long way away from Balmoral, but they can be, have an unassuming trip to the UK.
Yeah, and London seems to be the issue for Harry, because around Invictus in Birmingham, it might go to Invictus. The Duchess may come to the Invictus Games, but definitely not London. So that's his sticking point. And he obviously, his view is that there are viable death threats to life to him and his wife, and he's simply not bringing them to London until that's sorted out. Yeah. And his private security detail cannot carry firearms in the UK.
But they can drive around Scotland,
but
taking pictures of pretty lochs without anyone really paying much attention.
It's such a revelation, to be honest, to know that. And it also makes a lot of their security argument fall apart in my mind. I mean, they are obviously constantly coming up against Ravek and wanting, and saying that also it's a political decision for him not to have, or it's a decision from the royal family for him not to have security, etc. But to know that they are able to do all of that, and I even cast my mind back to your famous The Deliveroo, Harry.
Yeah, a year and a half ago. Yeah, he was walking up and down the street in West London, knocking on doors, looking for a friend.
Precisely, which I, again, always felt that was another pivotal moment in my mind where I go, wait a second, he doesn't really need, or the security song and dance is a little bit more than just about security. That's what I'll say.
Well, we didn't see Meghan when she came over, although she has published photographs since. Someone we haven't seen for a long time is Sarah Ferguson. However, is her luck about to change? And it feels a bit macabre to talk about this, but her former boyfriend, her former lover, Paddy McNally, they dated for 2 or 3 years in the 80s before she met Andrew Mountbatten Windsor and later married. They've stayed close for so many years. She's been staying, we believe, in his Verbier chalet recently, and he has put her up in houses in the past. They have stayed close. Now, he's died, and he's, I think, 240th richest man in the UK, and he's worth 600 million.
Paddy McNally was really important in the growth of Formula One, certainly on the sponsorship side and the hospitality side of things, the Paddock Club and so on. And yes, as you say, they stayed close. And we know, the one thing you absolutely know about Sarah Ferguson is bounce back ability. She always bounces. She's like Tigger, she bounces back. So maybe there will be some bequest to her. But in terms of promoting her into a public role, I don't think that's going to.
No, but I mean, look. Well, I spoke to someone close to Sarah, and they said there is no expectation of an inheritance. That doesn't rule it out, doesn't it? But this could be, and I know it's very tragic that Paddy McNally has died, but this could be relatively good news for Sarah. She could end up with a house or money, or she always finds a way back.
Yeah, God knows she needs it. I mean, she really does. I think the royal family was stressing out, so to speak, about her potentially optioning off a book or something like that in order to make a couple of pounds on the side. And we know that, yeah, she's kind of been all over the place trying to figure out where she's going to set up camp, where she's going to live, and of course trying to avoid all the press scrutiny. But it just does remind me of that sort of, there's a line in Great Gatsby which is like, just wealthy people, they go and smash up everything and then they retreat to their vast world of vacuousness and carelessness. And that's what Sarah Ferguson is to me. She's gone and destroyed multiple lives, albeit allegedly, done some pretty terrible things, befriended some pretty horrible people, and yet she, as you say, still continues to land on her feet, still be fine. She's got her 2 daughters who married extremely well. She can always rely on them, and Andrew's still there when she needs him. So it doesn't seem like they have faced the consequences for their actions at all.